Hi, Jessica Sporn here, wanting to show you how I transformed a cigar box using stencils. So here's my cigar box, and the first thing I'm going to do is use black gesso to just add a base coat for the entire box. Sometimes you might want to save some of the underlying design, but in this case I didn't want to do that, so I added one coat, let it dry, and then I added another coat. So I'm going to take a piece of black tissue paper that was inside a gift bag and use that to stencil with the 4x4 stencil from Stencil Club. I'm just repeating it over and over again, creating a wavy border. I love the movement in this stencil. This is the Medallions stencil from Stencil Club, and I did design it, shameless plug, and I'm going to use that as well because I wanted to provide the background for the top of the box. So I'm using a scissor to cut them out, and I am going to create strips with this border and put it right on the side of the box. And you can see I squeeze the matte medium right down so as not to waste a drop of this precious stuff. I'm going to do the same thing on the top of the box, just laying down the matte medium and the tissue paper right on top. And the reason I used the tissue paper instead of stenciling directly onto the top and sides of the cigar box are twofold. First, it gives me a little more control, and secondly, I like the vintage distressed look that I get when I glue the tissue paper down. There's some wrinkles and crevices that I wouldn't be able to get if I stenciled directly. Now I'm just cutting some of these medallions out of this fabulous orange paper I got at Jerry's Artist Outlet. The orange inspires me to pull out my quinacridone nickel azo gold paint and some glazing medium. I mix it together and I start rubbing it on the top of the box, and it just subtly transforms the color of the metallic paint that I had used for my stencil. And then of course the sides get the same treatment. And now for the 6x6 stencil from December Stencil Club. This is a beautiful stencil with the phases of the moon, and I'm using Wendy Vecchi's gold embossing paste and rubbing it over the stencil. So I had made a little button shape out of paper clay, or maybe it's Model Magic, I'm not sure what I used here, and I'm just tinting it and coloring it with my fingers using the black gesso, some gold paint, and then I'll use some of the quinacridone gold as well, and using a bit of tacky glue to set it down. I found some words that I want to use that go with the moon theme. They say live by the sun, love by the moon. So I wrote them in just my own handwriting and put some Ranger's Distress ink on them and also some of the quinacridone gold, and I'm just cutting them out with my scissor and going over them as need be. I don't mind that some of the ink is smudging a little bit because I want this to all have this sort of vintage, aged look. The nice thing about cutting out the words is that I can figure out the placement without writing directly onto the box and then maybe messing up, which I would be prone to do, I'm sure. And now for my orange medallions. And here's the inside of the box, also painted with one of these medallions in the center. And I could have left it alone. It would have looked very classy, but I didn't. So I just ended up stenciling the medallion stencil on the inside as well, and adding some quinacridone gold to it and some gold on the edges, and called it done. In these photographs, you get a better sense of the colors and the texture than in the video. And you'll also see that I couldn't leave well enough alone and also wrote a quote on the inside of the box. If the box had been a generic gift, I would have left it alone, but it was for my husband, so I wrote, "For he would be thinking of love till the stars had run away and the shadows eaten the moon." Beautiful quote by Yeats. Hope you enjoyed this, and that it inspires you to alter a box using stencils. Bye!